Hello, bright lights. I hope you're doing well today. As sun has transitioned out of debilitation, maybe you're feeling it like I am. We had a beautiful snow last night, and it's a perfect day for walking in the woods and talking about Dharma, which is what we do here in the divinedharmacircle. I just wrote a new article this morning, and I'll be sharing that on our private Dharma network. I'll post the link above this video. You can read the article in full. It's about the transition from a career path to a dharmic path. So I get 2 clients typically, and these 2 types of women are both in transition from a career path into alignment with their path of nourishment. And this is about soul nourishment. That is your dharmic path. Both of these women, and just notice if either one of these women are you. So these are the women that show up for Dharma mentorship. This is what we tend to in Dharma mentorship. By the way, applications will be opening very soon for Dharma mentorship. We have some spaces available. So I'll be sharing more about that soon. But just notice if either of these types of women are you. The first type of woman is already sharing her gifts and wisdom. She is feeling the pull and has already listened to that knowing. So she's been sharing her gifts and wisdom. She's offering some of her tools and her insights. She's moving towards greater nourishment and alignment with her purpose. But something's still missing. She's still feeling a lack of contentment and a sense that she's not fully aligned. And she's wondering, what is that? Why does she feel disconnected still? Shouldn't she be feeling more alignment at this point? So that's woman number 1. Second woman is the woman who has not yet made the leap from her career path to her dharmic path. And if you haven't clarified what that means, I've shared a lot over the years about the difference between a career path and a dharmic path. We need to recognize that these are 2 different paths with very different intentions. And a career path is not about the nourishment of your soul. Your career path is usually, as a householder, it just has more to do with making sure your basic needs are met. You may be sharing some of your gifts, some of your tools, but there's still a lot of disconnect. And that's the reason for the malnourishment. There's not a sense of wholeness. And the career path is going to keep you disconnected from your wholeness. So we have to be really honest about that the purpose of your career path, it's not about awakening your soul. It's not about your soul nourishment. And that's where we need to be really honest about what we're seeking. What is our desire? So, both of these types of women are feeling some malnourishment, some disconnection with their wholeness. And Dharma is ultimately wholeness, and it's the integration of both the spiritual and the material. And they're really one and the same. So it's about our orientation. But here are 5 steps to start moving you into greater alignment with your Dharma and to start making that transition away from a career orientation, a career path mindset, and into greater alignment with Dharma, the nourishment of your soul, the wholeness of your being. And the first step has to do with your body. Now, body is the primary resource. And this is why most people are disconnected from Dharma, because they're disconnected from their bodies. I don't care how much yoga, meditation that you do. Some of the people who do yoga and meditation are the right relationship with that knowing. Secondly, this is the second step. This is about showing up consistently, tending to the sacred, honoring the sacred and the spiritual as not only valid, valuable, true, but essential. So without the sacred, without the spiritual body, and showing up consistently for spirit, we have no Dharma. We have no connection to Dharma. So a reminder that showing up consistently for spirit is absolutely essential. And this is different for everyone. There's not one size fits all steps for connecting with spirit. And that's the beauty of Dharma, is that it's individual. This is an individual path. And we must cultivate that relationship with spirit diligently, regularly, consistently. So find what that is for you. Notice how it feels in your body. And listen carefully to what it feels like to be connected to spirit. And keep showing up for that. Step 3 is about self-trust. And there's no Dharma without self-trust. This is your gut intelligence, your intuitive knowing. And every part of the dharmic path requires self-trust. Trust in your body, trust in your gifts, trust in your inner knowing, sourcing from your inner knowing, your inner authority rather than outer authority. Trust in spirit, trust in the sacred, trust in the unfolding path. Trust, trust, trust. And when we don't have a strong connection to our self-trust, we are going to feel confused. We're going to stay in doubt. We're going to be making choices that disconnect us rather than reconnect us. So we need to be cultivating the relationship with body and spirit from a level of self-trust. And this is ultimately about self-love and acceptance. So one of my favorite tools is EFT, the tapping meditation techniques, and simply tapping on the phrase every day using the heart center and just tapping into resonance with the phrase, the knowing, the embodied knowing. I'm open to the possibility of loving and accepting my whole body. I'm open to the possibility of loving and accepting my whole body. So that's a step that you can be taking regularly to cultivate self-trust. Step number 4 is the step that most people miss. I have had clients come to me for Dharma mentorship who only make this one change, and suddenly their path is unfolding in magical, brilliant ways. And it's simply cultivating a relationship with the ancestors and the ancestral body. The ancestors are your direct link to your Dharma and your dharmic path, your dharmic offerings. The majority of your gifts that are living in your body come from your ancestors. So there is no Dharma without ancestors. And when we're disconnected from the ancestors, we will be disconnected from our Dharma. So, this is the key ingredient for deepening your relationship, your trust, your knowing with Dharma. Ancestors are the fundamental piece of awakening your Dharma and your dharmic path. So I want to encourage you to deepen that relationship. And you can start that in this moment right now, just by saying to the ancestors, I'm ready. I'm ready now. I'm ready to deepen our relationship. I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to hear your wisdom. And I'm ready to show up. So ask and then cultivate that relationship. And I share a lot of resources about feeding the ancestors and cultivating this relationship. So make sure you gather those resources and take these steps. Okay, so step number 5 is the one everyone resists. And yet, without it, we can't have Dharma. Everyone says, I want Dharma. I want a path of nourishment. I want my path to feel good. I want to live a life of meaning. I want my life to feel joyful. Everyone says these things. But there's some effort involved. And the thing about step number 5, grief work, is it's the place most people don't want to tend. But without it, we have no space for the new. Grief work, digesting our grief, clears, releases, makes space for what is emerging. And step number 5 is non-negotiable in order for you to make space for what you're truly seeking. Dharma requires an ego identity shift. You won't be the same person. You won't be the same identity. It couldn't be possible. Otherwise, there wouldn't be this desire to shift from malnourishment to greater nourishment. Something's going to have to change. And the change involves an ego identity shift. So this means that we have to change. We have to change. And thank you! And the change is in our identity. So what needs to be cleared? What needs to be released? What needs to move out of the way in order for the new to emerge, in order for space for the new to emerge? Another way to think of this is, why might I be resisting? Or why might I be afraid? Because there's going to be a letting go process. So why might I be afraid of the letting go? What's going to change as I shift into this new identity? the identity of nourishment, the identity of satisfaction in my soul, the identity of loving my life and loving every moment of this life, even when it feels challenging. Who is that being? And why might there be some fear around stepping into this new part of yourself? So, these are 5 steps to get intimate with and to consider in this transition away from career path, career mindset, and moving towards greater alignment with your Dharma, your wholeness, the nourishment of your soul. And from there, we can talk about the steps that are required for creating a dharmic business model. The difference between a dharmic business and a career-oriented business. Our business model, the structure of our business, needs to reflect the nourishment of our soul as well. So I can share more about those steps with you as well. Again, I've just created an article with these 5 steps, going deeper into these steps and giving you greater insights about this transition from career into Dharma. And I'll share that on our private network, our new private Dharma network, and you can read the article in full there. And I'll look forward to seeing you in our new Dharma-specific platform, completely private. You can check out all of our Dharma resources there. So many resources. And don't forget the applications will be opening for Dharma mentorship this coming month. And I'll be sure to let you know. Follow along in our newsletter and on the Mighty Network, our new private Dharma network. And I'll see you there. Bye, everyone.